San Francisco dazzles the world with bright bridges and rolling cable cars. Yet a darker story lurks just a few blocks away. The same streets that thrill tourists with neon nightlife also cradle cardboard shacks, where people fight to stay warm every single evening. Every night, more than 8,000 men, women, and children hunt for a safe patch of pavement or the front seat of a broken car. The numbers sting even harder because this city is famous for money, tech, and sky-high home prices. Housing here costs so much that a teacher or nurse can lose their apartment after one tiny setback, and the fall is fast and brutal. A missed paycheck, a medical bill, or a sudden layoff can shove someone from a rented room into a cold tent faster than anyone can imagine. Our episode on homeless in America zooms straight into that painful gap between golden skyline and nightly nightmare. We track today's data, hear raw stories from the sidewalks, and reveal whether City Hall is helping or hiding. The latest 2024 point-in-time count rocked the city with hard facts, listing 8,323 unhoused residents, and nearly 3,000 of them sleep entirely outdoors. With a population under 1 million, that gives San Francisco one of the highest per capita homelessness rates in the nation. Sheltered people grab cots in temporary programs, yet thousands more stretch out beneath freeways, on park benches, or in doorways of the Tenderloin and South of Market. Rows of nylon tents flap in chilly wind, and blue tarps sag under fog, shouting a silent warning about broken safety nets. These clusters are not lifestyle choices. They're last chances. Shopkeepers battle rats and trash while trying to show grace, and exhausted outreach workers hand out blankets, even as some voters demand encampments vanish. Debate on the street grows loud because a plain one-bedroom apartment can cost over $3,000 a month, a price that stomps on even middle incomes. People fear blocked sidewalks, lost tourism, and shrinking business. Yet the root crisis is still a crushing gap in rentals ordinary workers can afford. Have you ever wondered how you would survive if rent suddenly matched your entire paycheck? That is the razor edge where thousands now live each dawn and dusk. Finding actual affordable housing feels like chasing smoke, because waitlists crawl for years and strict rules knock desperate families out of line. New construction lags miles behind demand, so competition for cheap units turns ruthless and drives prices even higher. One resident spelled it out in plain words. Well, the price of the lowest, cheapest hotel room was $550 a month years ago. Now it's gone up to $1,500 to $2,000 a month. And, I don't get that much even retirement check. I got the SSI. That doesn't even come close. He added, so I'm trying to get a hold of the discount room, and we've gotten the donations for that. And even though we've gotten donations constantly, I still haven't seen to the rooms being built to accommodate thousands of homeless people that are trying to get one. Economic landmines like gig jobs that shift week to week leave many balancing rent against groceries until a single emergency explodes the budget. Flight from domestic violence or a crushing hospital bill can empty savings and leave nothing but a backpack and a thin blanket. Health struggles hit just as hard, piling chronic diseases on worry, while untreated mental illness can make holding work impossible. Without steady medical care, minor problems snowball into disasters that lock people inside the cycle of street life. In San Francisco, housing and health twist around each other like vines, choking progress for anyone who slips through the cracks. Breaking that grip will require more than speeches and ribbon cuttings, because the storm grows fiercer every year. Imagine a plan that starts with one mighty promise. Give a person a front door first, and watch real change begin. This idea is called Housing First, and it turns old thinking upside down with one bold step. Instead of demanding sobriety or classes before a key, the city now says secure a safe room right away. Then tackle tough problems like addiction or job skills. Studies show that when stress drops and basic safety returns, people are ready to meet with doctors, counselors, or trainers, and success rates jump. San Francisco built special navigation centers that feel less like bunk halls and more like small villages where partners, pets, and treasure bags are welcome. 24-hour access, hot meals, and showers replace the cold curb, while case managers, lawyers, and job coaches set up desks inside, creating one-stop shops for a fresh start. Guests can store belongings, meet a landlord, and leave with a lease, all under one roof. A game changer for those tired of dead ends. Traditional shelters still stand, yet many avoid them because the rules feel cramped, the bunks packed tight together, and privacy is almost zero. Crowded rows and strict curfews can drive someone back to a sidewalk even on rainy nights. During the virus emergency, Project Room Key grabbed empty hotels, turning tourist suites into lifesavers for thousands most at risk from infection. The follow-up program called Project Home Key bought those buildings outright, slicing through paperwork and turning short stays into long homes with real leases. Nearly 15,000 people have moved through these rooms so far. Proof that big ideas can hit fast when crisis forces bold moves. Keeping that idea alive will need steady money and sharp watchdogs, so the rooms do not drift back to regular travel listings when markets rebound. Voters also shook things up with Proposition C, a daring tax on companies that earn more than $50 million each year. Hundreds of millions are supposed to pour straight into housing, healthcare, and support teams. The real test is whether the city can move fast and keep the river of money from stalling in red tape. Our channel Global Homeless News keeps shining a light on wins and misses, and every share or comment pushes the story deeper with new voices. Your clicks help uncover hidden corners of homelessness, not just in America, but all over the world. The people behind the statistics are far from one single story. Some lost jobs or faced huge hospital bills. Others ran from violence, and many battle limits that make steady work tough. Veterans coping with trauma, teens aging out of foster care, seniors priced out after rent hikes. The faces are many. Plenty hold full-time jobs yet still sleep in vans because even a tiny studio costs more than their entire paycheck. Imagine working week after week only to greet nightfall in the driver's seat of a parked car. It happens here every day. Shelter rules can also push visitors away. Bans on pets or strict curfews feel harsh when a dog is the only family you have left, or when night shifts make early check-ins impossible. Navigation centers score higher because they cut those barriers and build a warm sense of community instead of a line of cots. Life without a roof drains every ounce of energy. Bathing, washing clothes, even charging a phone turn into daily quests, and the boredom between meals gnaws at mental health. Limited buses make it hard to keep doctor visits, while employers often demand an address that no longer exists. Doctors warn that untreated illness and constant stress shorten lifespans by decades. So homelessness is a rolling medical emergency, hiding in plain sight. That is why experts argue for support that treats body, mind, and wallet together, because people are not numbers. They are neighbors fighting to stay hopeful. Different cities take different paths, and the contrast is sharp. New York guarantees a shelter bed, so most of its homeless crowds sleep inside each night, though the price tag tops $2 billion a year and sparks fierce debate. Critics say the system can feel like long-term warehousing, yet supporters note that fewer people die outdoors in freezing winters. San Francisco has no such guarantee, so street tents are far more visible, proving how legal rules shape what we all see walking downtown. Down south, Los Angeles counts more than 60,000 unhoused residents, many clustered in Skid Row, where tents stretch beyond sight. The county approved billions for new housing, but slow construction means the nightly count still rises, a warning to every big city watching. The more we compare, the clearer it becomes. No single fix fits every zip code, yet none of US can turn away from the struggle we share, because every person deserves a safe place to sleep tonight. We cannot rest until that promise is kept for everyone. From Los Angeles to Seattle, the same painful pattern repeats, yet every city shows its own twist. LA reels under sky-high rents and a sea of tents, but its huge sprawl turns outreach into a marathon of traffic jams and scattered neighborhoods. Seattle faces a different storm as booming tech jobs push prices out of reach, while icy rain soaks every tarp in sight. Cold wind knives through flimsy nylon, just as fog chills San Francisco streets, proving that bad weather can be as cruel as any broken system. Look coast to coast, and the warning signs flash bright in New York, LA, Seattle, and San Francisco, all crushed by soaring costs and too few affordable homes. Local experiments are everywhere, yet the numbers keep rising, hinting that city-by-city fixes alone cannot stop the tide. So the big question roars louder than ever. How much do national housing rules and broad economic forces shape the misery on each block? The same crises popping up in town after town shout that bold action must reach from City Hall to state capitals and all the way to Washington. Real progress starts with a flood of truly affordable units, faster permits, and larger shares of new buildings locked in at below-market rents. Cut the red tape, pump up funding for vouchers and supportive housing, and transform empty hotels or dusty offices into bright, safe apartments. Project Home Key showed the power of that idea, yet the number of people slipping into homelessness keeps climbing faster than rooms are converted. Scale is the mission because lives depend on it every single night. Shelter alone will not win this fight without mental health care, job programs, and quick medical access to keep people steady once they step indoors. Housing first works best when trauma therapy, addiction treatment, and legal help arrive together like gears in one strong machine. All of that calls for tight teamwork among city offices, nonprofits, and small community crews working block by block. Proposition C: cash gives muscle, but only sharp oversight can stop dollars from getting stuck in endless paperwork. Tech giants and big developers help create the crunch, yet they can help solve it too. Some fund job pipelines and donate millions, but wider and steadier support is needed if the city wants a solid workforce in such an expensive place. Visitors chasing postcard views can find deeper meaning by stepping into neighborhoods overlooked by most tours. Volunteering at art collectives, dropping supplies at shelters, or learning local stories turns a simple trip into a powerful lesson on modern urban life. San Francisco carries decades of policy stumbles and housing shortages, yet also pushes forward with bold taxes, fast hotel conversions, and tireless advocates. No single fix will snap into place overnight, yet each voucher, rebuilt motel, or counseling session forms one piece of the larger rescue plan. Momentum must stay strong through fierce politics, steady community pressure, and fresh ideas pushing through every budget cycle. Tens of thousands still teeter one paycheck from sleeping in cars, so balance between emergency beds and long-term prevention grows more urgent each year. Can city leaders, corporate titans, and local activists keep pace with rising rents and deeper need? With San Francisco's wealth and spirit of innovation, there is good reason to hope they can. If you ever wander these famous hills, look past the bridge photos and cable car rides, and walk the blocks where tents line the curb. Meet the people behind those tarps, support their journeys, and let that human connection turn a visit into shared resolve for change.